Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, January 24th, 2022. We are near the end of the month, end of January already. Someone replied to me in one of the comments and was like, 55 days till spring. And that feels like it's right around the corner. And I was just saying to my running buddy the other day, I was like, you know what? I still think we have the worst of the winter ahead of us, but we're like at the end of January already. It hasn't been too bad yet. I know some really cold weather is coming like tonight and into tomorrow. So probably just jinxed it for everybody. Sorry about that. But so far, it hasn't been too terrible for us here in the Midwest in Chicago. And I'm feeling optimistic. I don't know how you guys are feeling today. Hopefully, you guys that are listening on the podcast are having a good day out there on the run or on your commute and aren't getting too stuck in some snow. I had a lot of snow on my run this morning, but I like running in snow. I think it just looks great. It makes me feel like I'm really getting a lot more done than I am. You know what I mean? It makes me feel like extra productive on the run. So I just like running in snow. So I had a good day. But anyone driving, hope you're being safe out there. And for anyone watching this live stream on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you're having a good time getting through the laundry or getting your dishes done while you have this on in the background. And welcome to you guys too. Or if you're just sitting back with a recovery beverage, hope you enjoy. I've got some of my afternoon coffee for today. But the main thing for today is I just got a bunch of stuff from the feed. It's not sponsored. I just ordered a bunch of stuff. I was influenced by Dr. Josh, who recommended the feed. And I've been really enjoying and by buying a lot of stuff from them regularly. Fun fact, did you guys know that before Sydney Gidibudai worked at Strava, he used to work at the feed? He worked part-time at the warehouse and like he would like pick orders and send it out. So like I don't know who works at the feed now. I don't know who has Sid's job now, but this box could have been like picked by like one of America's best distance runners. I don't know. I mean, it's Boulder, so it's like chances are pretty good. All right, how you guys doing today? We got Frank says, I'm feeling a little bit disappointed about the Treyu base version 2. The foam isn't wearing as much as on the V1, but it still seems to be losing its bounce at about 100 miles. And at $85, it just isn't enough. You know, I don't have that very many miles on my Treyu base 2. And it's not that I don't like it. It's just that for me, it feels very minimal. And so like I like the thicker stack height cushion shoes. And so like that shoe, the Rebel version 2, and like the Puma Liberate, 3 shoes that I like very much. But a lot of days I'm just like, oh, I don't know if that's the right shoe for today. So I don't know. But anyone else, if you've been running in the base version 2, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments how the bounce is for you guys if you've taken it past 100 miles. That's disappointing to hear, Frank. Luis says, yo, what's going on? JC says, I feel the need for a feed. Martha gives a nice wave. It's my favorite emoji. Well, my favorite emoji is the pizza emoji. Maybe my second favorite. My favorite's the poop emoji. I just love the poop emoji. My kids love the poop emoji. I think, yeah, that's a poop emoji right here. My kids made a poop emoji using like those beads that you iron and stuff, and I taped it to the wall. Yeah. But the wave emoji, as far as chat goes, I just really like that wave emoji. Alan Shrimpton's here says, morning all. Jason Dahl says, hey, everyone. Jason, hope you had a good time in the snow past couple of days. Rain Runner's here. Chris Dyke, good to see you guys with another wave. I love it. Love it. All right. Daniel M says, ATX is looking like Portland today. Ooh, why is that? It's because of the weather? Not sure. Lucas H says, really enjoyed the Sydney interview. He seems like such a good dude. Thanks for organizing that. Go, thanks. Yeah, I'm glad that I was able to, connect with him, and I wish him well. Hopefully he'll be back soon, telling us about a recent, a new sponsor announcement. That's what I hope for that guy in the future. And I look forward to seeing I'm excited for his track season, but I'm really excited for when he ups the distance. Personally, my person. I'm not saying like everyone needs to be a marathoner. Certainly, that's not the case. But just watching him run very long distances is very entertaining, and I think it's I don't know. That's what I get excited for. All right. Terry Furlong says, good evening. Mark Chancoco says, happy Monday, everyone. All right. Mika says, evening. First run today for a short while. Been busy organizing state elections this past weekend. An interesting experience. All right. Well, good for you. That's great. Awesome. Thank you. Rain Runner says, I'm ready for spring. Yeah. I mean, it kind of like part of me is like, I feel like we just got to winter. But then another part of me is like, yeah, we've been running in the cold a long time, guys. So like I go both ways. I think what's been really helpful for me is that it seems like there's just a lot more light than there has been. So like that has just such a positive effect on me, and it's been really helping my mood. So maybe that's just what it is just being more aware. I mean, yeah, the light is what the light is, right? But this year I just seem to be more aware of the fact that the light is the days are longer. So, you know, yeah, I'm feeling good about it. James Ford says, Kofuzi, you the man. Thanks, James. Says, snowing in Chicago for your run. Yeah, it snowed. I was out there for a little while. It snowed for most of it on my run today, which was nice. It's very nice and very distracting. My run started out not great. I was feeling a little bit tired, and the snow made it a little harder to run. I was like, I don't know how long I'm going to run today. I wanted to do 10, maybe I'll do 6. But that after a mile in, I was like, maybe I should just turn around now. I was like, no, I'm just going to keep going. The snow clears up a little bit further ahead. Let's wait till we get to a clear part, and then we'll see how I feel. And then once I got to the clear part, I didn't feel too bad. So I was like, okay, let's keep going. So it went okay. But yeah, it was definitely one of those days where I was just like, I thought just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And then if you hate it, you could turn around. And then I never turned around until I needed to turn around. So it worked out good. All right. Martha says, this is the most sustained ice and snow that I can remember here in Colorado. Need to get outside soon. Well, hopefully that clears up for you. All right. Let's see. Jason says, I'm a fan of the feed. They usually have Martin gels available when no one else does. And you know what I appreciate about it? You could buy you don't have to buy a box at a time. Can you? I don't know if you could do that for the Martin website. I think, don't you have to buy the box? I don't know. So it just feels like you could just buy them like loot. It's like buying loosies, I guess, in a way. So you're just like, give me 6 of those and like 4 of the calf, and it's like, there, great. And I like doing that. All right. Let's scroll down. Oh, we got some pizza emojis. We got some poop emojis, all from Stevie. All right, there you go. But I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, let's get to this box from the feed. And you got some stuff in the chat here, but I want to make sure I get to this before I forget for today. Now, this wasn't my original first choice for the Monday Mukbang. I kind of teased something a little bit more special for today, but since it was snowing this morning a lot, I didn't want to drive anywhere. Like, the roads look pretty clear here, but then I'd have to park the car again, and parking in Chicago, street parking in Chicago, is a whole different kind of sport that I don't really like to participate in that much. So I'm going to go with the package of food that already came to my door. So we're going to go with that. This box is weird. How do I open this box? All right. Sorry, guys. I didn't bring a knife. I kind of forgot what I ordered. All right. So I ordered... this is something. I didn't know what this was. But vegan friendly, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, protein, plant-based, restorative mixed. Pea protein, turmeric, cinnamon, and chili. Spiced chocolate. So I was like, oh, that reminds me of the Univet stuff that I like. I don't know that they had chili in it. And maybe they did. I thought it was just like chocolate and turmeric. But yeah, I thought I'd go with this. So I bought a bag of it. Hopefully it'll be okay. But maybe we'll try that for happy hour this week. I thought I bought more food than this. All right. Then I also bought this. Layered superfood. I don't think I ever bought anything from Layered Superfood. Although I think, is Picky Bars part of the Layered Superfood group now? I can't remember. But it is superfood creamer. Now, I don't usually take creamer. I just drink my coffee black. But it is a dairy-free, gluten-free creamer. and it's supposed to add an energy boost to your coffee, tea, smoothies, and food. So what's in this? It's got so it's well, first check. If you were wondering, is it naturally delicious? Check. Does it have all 4 medium chain triglyceride? Is that what MCT stands for? Check. Does it have no artificial flavors, refined sugars, refrigeration needed? Check, check, check. And then clean plant-based fuel. So I don't know what this is going to taste like. The main ingredient is coconut milk powder, and then it's basically coconut milk powder, coconut sugar, aquamin. I don't know what that is. It says in parentheses calcium for marine algae, and then organic extra virgin coconut oil. So put it in the coffee. All right. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to like this, but I thought maybe that would be good for an afternoon coffee day. And this is the main thing that I'm going to do the mukbang for today. So speaking of picky bars, they got a bunch of granola. I don't think I've had the granola before. So I bought 3 flavors. They have 4 flavors. One of them's peanut butter, so I didn't order that one. This one is the one that I'm pretty excited about. Ready to rumble, apple crumble, apples, almonds, and cardamom. Cardamom's a seed, right? Or is it like a spice? I'm not sure. Then there's Sassy molasses. These names are fun. All right, let's get focused. Yeah. It's got ginger, which I'm not a huge fan of, blackstrap molasses, goji berries, and coconut and seeds. So that one sounds actually pretty good too. And then the last one, Call of the Wild blueberry. I don't usually like blueberry things, but this one actually looked really appealing. The packaging looked nice. So it's got almond butter, maple, and rosemary. And I thought the rosemary is a weird choice. So I was intrigued by it. So we'll try all of those. I'm just going to, last time I did it with like mixed it in with like some yogurt. Today I'm just going to eat it like a snack today. So we'll go for that. All right. So before I jump into that, let me catch up to you guys now in the chat. We had I have Pedro said, good Monday, everyone. Hey, Co. Just received the Fresh Foam More Trail version 1. Ran a 6K mixed with asphalt and snow. It felt great. That would have been a perfect shoot for me out there today. Today I ran in the Adidas Agravic Ultra, and that upper is still so stiff. Now I was on pretty flat terrain today, and so it didn't cut into my ankles as much. But as soon as it got like slanted a little bit, oh, that thing was like digging into the bottom of my ankle, and it was painful. The Fresh Foam More version trail would have been perfect for me today. And Affluent Journey says knee pain made me stop at 4.5 miles in, rock the kneecap from side to side, and that seemed to relieve the sharp pains for some reason. Made it home at a slow pace after. Do you have tendonitis? Did you tell me what it was last week? I know you were like able to run for a certain amount of time, but rocking the kneecap from side to side, I did a lot of that. I usually would do that before I would run when I had the knee pain. All right, let me scroll down a little bit further. Okay, so I'm so far behind. All right. Lucas H says, Picky Club member here. Loved their product. Discovered them because of the Boozy Run Club mukbang. Really? That's cool. I've found out about Picky Bars from Steph Bruce because she's a part owner, right? But she would have them on her YouTube channel all the time. And I was like, those look tasty. I like those, and I want to support Steph. So that's how I first started getting into them. Alan says, I put cardamom in my curries. They're a seed pod. You can put the whole pod in or break it open and just use the seeds. Yeah, that's my experience with cardamom too. Is like, I think it's like in curries. It's like in the garam masala as well. Yeah. Daniel M says, why do they call it ginger? Because the flavor is actually really strong. Oxymoron? Oh, I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with the flavor, the level of the flavor. Avalon Journey says he thinks it's the meniscus. That's what's going on. Hopefully you can get it sorted out soon. Randon Lewis says, are calf sleeves good to run with? I like them. Some people say, who was I talking to? Or I watched something from someone saying that they started running with calf sleeves and it really helped. Was it Matt Chittum who's saying they've been running in some calf sleeves lately and it's just been really helping them feel a lot better after the run? He used to wear them only after the run, which is when I typically wear them, like after a really long run in the summer. But he said he started wearing them during his runs, and I do sometimes as well. And he really liked it that way. I like them. I usually wear them more as a warmth layer than as like a compression requirement. So like when just shorts aren't enough and when full tights might be too much, then shorts and cap sleeves I like. So that's kind of like what I like to do. All right. Undeadly says, I made it. Well, good to see you. Look at that. He has the sun underneath his arm in his photo. It's a nice camera trick. I like it. All right. Brett Reed giving me a tip for this coffee creamer. When you use this coffee creamer, use the mixer to blend in. I don't think a spoon does the job. Is that because of the MCTs, the medium chain triglycerides? I think it's going to get clumpy, right? Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. All right. Eric Fairmont, totally agree. Says, I use the feed for Martin Gel Supplies. I mean, they always have so many. But the emails are just relentless. They are incredible. I get like one a day. Like every single day I get an email from the feed. It just goes straight to delete, really. Dan Johnson says, I could barely get out of bed after a back injury, but thankfully am up and walking about 2 days later. I'll wait a bit for the next run. All right, take it slow. I mean, back injuries are tough. So glad to hear you're getting a little bit better. All right. Mark Ingham says, calf sleeves are all right. Wu-Tang socks preferred. Am I wearing my Wu-Tang socks? No, I'm not wearing. I almost wore the Wu-Tang socks today. I'm wearing my darn tough socks today. But the Wu-Tang Stand socks, highly recommend for winter running. They're a little bit thicker. They're like a medium thickness. So like if you don't like that, you're not going to like these. But in the winter, they're great. They're not waterproof or anything, but I do enjoy them. But I think I need one or two more pairs of really good winter running socks. All right. All right. Let's get to some of this food. So I'm going to start with, let's do the blueberry one first. Call of the Wild blueberry. It's grain-free, not carb-free, so that's good to know. And produce, at least they let you know, produce in a facility that uses peanuts, tree nuts, and soy. So the main ingredient is chickpea flakes, maple syrup, sunflower seeds, almond butter, tapioca starch, pumpkin seeds, sunflower, dried wild berries, chia seeds, sea salt, and dried rosemary. Dried rosemary smells really good. It kind of smells like coffee. Maybe that was wrong. All right, I'm going to have this there's like lots of big, nice clumps in here. So I'm going to try one of these clumps. Yeah, that rosemary does something different. I'm not sure I like the rosemary in here. It gives it a very autumnal flavor. Almost like a medicine-y flavor. And not medicine in like Robitussin, but medicine in like the stuff that my mom would buy from like the East Asian apothecary. But maybe that's just the ginger. Not ginger, the rosemary. Yeah, it's such a strong, very earthy flavor to this. It's not sweet. Let me get a blueberry in here. Yeah, this is good, but you know, I think usually when I eat granola, I put it in a big bowl of yogurt. And I usually add some more nuts, whatever nuts we have around, not peanuts, but I usually put like cashews or pecans or almonds in it. And we usually have a lot of dried fruit laying around. That is going to be delicious with a lot of dried cherries in it. The blueberries aren't strong enough to stand up to the rosemary in there, but that is a really satisfying granola. I mean, a lot of times when you think of granola, it's just like super sweet. It's like candied oats, which I tend to like a lot of the time. It's like oatmeal cookies, just in a clump form. But this is like, that's something different. So earthy. So there's that one. Sean Devlin says, hi, Kofuzi. Experimenting with different gels for marathon training and going to try Martin. Do you actually feel a boost from the 100 calf? I'll take any help I can get. Yes. especially if you're not like if I'm a heavy coffee drinker, so like caffeine usually doesn't affect me all that much. But that one, I mean, the first time you have it, you're like, whoa, this is a lot. And you're like, this is too much. And then after a while, your body's like, I've had this before. This is good. Give me more. But like, I mean, like on certain Sundays or if we're like at home and just staying in and I'm just hitting the coffee hard, by the end of the day, like my stomach will be a little bit upset and might be a little bit jittery from so much caffeine. You can do that with the Martin caps if you take too many of them at once. So like I try not to take two of them in a row. So I always space it out like one Martin cap 100 and then another either regular Martin or like a Huma Chia Plus. So then I alternate them because I just think two in a row is a lot. It's definitely a lot. Yeah, you'll feel the bump, I think. Alan Shrimpton's got the booster shot coming up. Not looking forward to that sore arm again. I mean, if that's the worst you get of it, that's good. I mean, it gave me some symptoms for like a day and a half, but wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all. So I'm glad you're getting that, Alan, and hopefully it all goes smoothly for you. Undeadly says, I replaced my second cup of coffee in the morning with a green tea and ginger combo, and I truly believe it helps with inflammation. That sounds good. You know what Tommy Runs was telling me? By the way, did you guys listen to the Tommy Runs interview? Aaron Davis of Tempo Talks podcast, Aaron Davis and Ryan Miller interviewed Tommy Runs. It was a really good, great conversation, and I just finished listening to it today. But Tommy Runs was telling me that, like, he's like, like, I'm not going to preach to you about going vegan or anything, but, all that milk, it causes inflammation. I'm like, milk causes inflammation? He's like, it sure does. I'm like, what? I have so much milk. I mean, I'm very heavy dairy and egg diet. I mean, I think I have 2 eggs just about every day for breakfast. At some point. A lot of days I have multiple breakfasts. I'll have my pre-run breakfast and then my post-run breakfast. Today's post-run breakfast was a couple of donuts. There is a bakery that makes, or like a brand that makes peanut safe donuts, and they don't sell it at our regular grocery store, but every once in a while if we're driving around and we pass the grocery stores that do carry it, we'll usually stop in and get some. So my wife bought like a 12-pack of glazed donuts. I had a couple for breakfast today, for a second breakfast. Dan Johnson says, I'm a big fan of fruit, yogurt, and cereal for breakfast. I make my own yogurt in an Instant Pot. Is it easy? My wife is super into that idea, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a really great way to be buying a lot of milk, and I'm not sure like how it's going to work. I guess I just got to try it at some point. But I'm just like, let's just let the yogurt be yogurt and buy the yogurt, and let the milk be milk and buy the milk. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work. But maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Maybe that's something that's worth trying. All right, let's get to the next. I'm going to save the apple one for last. We're going to do the Sassy molasses one, because this one is the one that I don't think I'm going to like, because I don't like ginger. I'm like the only Korean person you'll ever meet that doesn't like ginger. But ginger, blackstrap molasses sounds great. Goji berries sounds great. Coconut and seeds also sounds great. But this ginger confuses me. This one smells a lot sweeter, though. This reminds me of... It's like almost like a muffin smell in here. What is that? What am I smelling? I think it's the molasses that I'm smelling. These, like, there aren't as many big chunks in this one. I don't know if that's just coincidence or what. Okay, here we go. Here's a nice big cluster. It's nice and salty. Oh, that ginger hit at the end. Whoa. That ginger came through. I was like, I don't want to taste the ginger. And I was like, oh, yes, I do. The goji berries are nice in here. Oh, now I'm like, now all I taste is ginger. It's almost got like it's just confusing my palate. It's very strong. But I mean, I guess if it's got that much ginger in it. Whew. All right. Strong flavor. Ingredients are gluten-free oats, blackstrap molasses, honey. What's this? There's asterisks by all these things. It doesn't tell you what the asterisk means. Oh, it means they're organic. Oh, wow. I think lots of stuff organic. Honey, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, coconut oil, shredded coconut flakes, the goji berries, red ape cinnamon. I've never heard of that. Ginger and sea salt. Yeah, I mean, that's just such a strong... I got to go back in for some more. Strong ginger flavor. The seeds that are in here, it looks like there's like pumpkin seeds. Yeah, there's pumpkin seeds in here. I've never been a huge fan of pumpkin seeds. Again, very autumnal in the flavor profile. Feels like harvesty. Feels like shorts and sweatshirt weather. But that ginger, I don't know how much I could eat of that. It's because I don't like ginger. So that's not, I think it's probably great. Most of you would probably like it, but there's a lot of ginger in there. I don't know. I don't know if it's opening the sinuses or it's just something that I normally associate with ginger, but it's got like a kick to it. I definitely taste it. Definitely taste it. Yeah. Undeadly says, my wife has ginger and causes a bit of inflammation. No, ginger's anti-inflammatory. All right, Dan Johnson says, here's how you make the yogurt. 8 cups of whole milk to boiling, cool to 110 degrees. Mix in a 1/4 cup of yogurt and a tablespoon of sugar. Use Instant Pot setting for 8 hours, then done. That's a lot of milk. That's a lot of yogurt then too, right? Maybe I'll try it. I think my wife would probably like it if I did that. Jeremy Patton says, also Korean, don't care much for ginger either. Well, see, it's not just me. There you go. Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate the support there. Yeah, it's just it's a very strong flavor. And I don't know. I'm not liking it in the granola. So far, Call of the Wild Blueberry is a better one. I definitely need to cleanse the palate a little bit with some coffee. But I was just reading the back of this though. So look at the 4 founders that are on here. Steph Proof is one, but you've also got, it's a pretty good group here. I mean, you can't see that. I'm not going to get it to focus on it because this bag is curved. But there's Lauren Fleischman, Jesse Thomas, pro triathlete, and then Steph Bruce, and then Elise Kopecki. She's the one that writes the books with Shalane. I didn't know that. I didn't know Elise Kopecki was involved in this. So that's interesting. I didn't know. And they are out of Bend, Oregon, which I also didn't know that. Cool. All right. Rainrunner says, if you have to wait 8 hours, I could just run to the store and buy yogurt. But you could also have that done overnight. That's the idea. So you let these things cook for you while you sleep. And then you have a nice hot, is it hot then? Hot yogurt in the morning? Presumably you cool it. I don't know. Hot yogurt sounds so gross. That just sounds absolutely disgusting. I was watching something there's a show on PBS called Animals with Cameras. And the premise of the entire show is just to put video cameras on animals and let them do their thing. And then like the scientists watch. It's almost like a reaction show in a lot of ways too. So they'll get these people that study a certain bird and they're like, oh, there's these new cameras that we can use. So they'll catch and tag the bird, put the cameras on them, and then like catch the same bird again the next day or two later. And then they watch the footage and they talk about like, we know a lot about these birds, but they fly so far from the coastline that we haven't been able to track any one bird to see what it's doing. from a visuals perspective. So we usually have to wait till it gets closer to the shore, and I don't think that's when it's doing most of its hunting for fish. And so like then they're like, and then they looked at the camera footage, and the show shows these scientists or experts on these animals seeing video camera footage from cameras mounted to these animals for the first time. So it's really a reaction show, if you think anything. And then they did one on like sea lions, and they were like, baby sea lions get fat off their mother's milk, which is about 55% fat. And that's like, whoa, that's a lot of fat. That's kind of weird. But I guess it's like marine life, cold water, they need fat and blubber, all that kind of stuff. Makes sense. And then the show goes, that means it has even more fat than whipping cream. And I was like, that's a weird fact. I mean, we all kind of figured that. I mean, did people not know that? I mean, I was just like, that's just a weird number, weird like factoid to throw in there as well. Like, I felt like the fact was that's 55% fat, the mother's milk, was like, that's a standalone fact. We don't need additional facts to bolster it to make it more relatable. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Raynor says, not really feeling any of the mukbang snacks today. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should have got the yogurt out. But I think the only yogurt we have in the house is vanilla flavored, like Chobani. That's what my daughter really likes. So I think I felt like the vanilla might interfere too much. Let's get to the ready to rumble apple crumble, because this is the one that I really thought I would like. But then again, it's like, they put in like two ingredients or three ingredients that are like, ooh, okay, this looks like a good granola, and then one that's like a curveball. Like the Call of the Wild Blueberry has rosemary in it, which I actually kind of like. The Sassy molasses is full of ginger, which I'm like, oh boy. And then this one has cardamom, apples, almonds, and cardamom. But look at these nice big chunks. Look at that. Nice clusters of. All of the granolas are starting to smell the same thing now. Is there almond butter in this? Yeah, almond butter. The almond butter in here is real nice. I don't know that I'm tasting the cardamom. Maybe I am. Maybe that's what's giving it that, again, earthy flavor. But these feel like, like granola for grown-ups. Maybe that's a problem. I don't have a grown-ups palate. But I like that one. That last one's good. It has kind of the same kind of almost like herbal aftertaste that all of them do. I think would probably get covered up really nice by if you added some dried fruit yourself and some yogurt, which is how I like to eat my granolas anyway. But I like that one. If I were to buy a bunch of it again, I would probably just get the ready to rumble apple crumble. That's the one that I'm going to go for. All right, where we go? Dan says, here you go. You don't eat the yogurt hot. You let it cool. And he adds berries and cereal like granola. Tastes great and it's healthy to boot. Super fast and easy once you've got a batch made. Well, I guess because then you add, is it like a sourdough? Then it's like you got the live cultures from one to start the next one. Okay, here we go. All right, maybe we'll try that one for the next mukbang. Rainwater says, I think I gotta eat some granola after this. Yeah, I'm probably gonna sit down to a bowl of the ready to rumble apple crumble once we're done here. Even though the yogurt does have a vanilla flavor to it. Mark says, if they put sesame in there, you might like it. Maybe. Sesame's good. That running guy's here. What's going on? Says, evening all. I finally broke 1:30 officially for the half marathon race this weekend. Great job. Awesome. Is the video up already? I'll have to go check that out. Very cool. Very, very cool. Good work. Is Mark here? Mark, are you still going to go for an hour and a half for the marathon this weekend? I think, we're going to go to Florida. Um, we were not sure, just trying to be safe, but I think we're still going to go. And yeah, I think I'm going to do that race in Clearwater. So I think an hour and a half would be about what I'm looking for. So, Mark, if you want to run, let me know. All right. Yeah, Terry Furlong hitting that cowbell. Awesome. All right. I'm very curious about the superfood creamer, but I'm not going to have any of it right now. It's too many things, too many different flavors. I think my palate is like on tilt now, though. I don't know that I can really be tasting more things. That was a lot of different flavors. A lot of things that I don't normally eat. Mark says, all right, I'm going to try to hang with me as long as you can. All right. Well, I mean, if you want to go slower, I can go slower. Let me know. I mean, I guess I'll make a decision after we cross that big bridge, right? Because I feel like that bridge is going to be big. I'm so intimidated by it. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Matt Pedro says the New Balance Fresh One More Trail in asphalt and snow felt great and remind me of my broom ball shoes. What are broom ball shoes? I'm not sure what that is. Mark Ingham wants to know would you rather run in windy or wet? Oh, that's a good question. I guess it depends on how cold is it. If it's like summer wet, yeah. If it's summertime, like a summer rain, oh, that's great. But if it's like 35 degrees and raining, I'll take the wind, I guess. I'm not sure. Both are pretty tough. That's not a very nice question, Mark. I don't like that one. Yeah. I think it probably would go with the wet for most situations. We'll see. And his Dunbar's here and in from 5K with Pip. Awesome. Hope it went well. Yeah, looks like there's a lot of votes for running in the wet. Brett votes for wet. Terry Furlong votes for wet. Wind both sucks and blows. That reminds me. Have you guys seen Spaceballs? I mean, there's gonna be a time. There's gonna be a time where I'm gonna be like, where I'm gonna say to like a room full of people, "Look out, she's going from suck to blow." And people are gonna think that I'm just making some sort of ribald comment and not quoting a movie, right? I mean, I think we're already there. Yeah, Mark says, windy sucks. I could deal with wet. Yeah, I think most people are picking wet. But Frank says, I prefer to run with the wind behind me. There you go. I guess we should have also had tailwind and summer rain. Tailwind and summer rain. Let's pick those. Those are like two like not that disagreeable things. There we go. And Mark says, but then it begs the question, windy or icy? Yeah. I think I'd rather have windy than icy. Icy, I mean, you just can't run on that stuff. And then you might hurt yourself, Dan Johnson also has broom ball shoes. Wear them to play boot hockey every Saturday morning. Is that what broom ball is? I don't even know what broom ball is. It's a great fun cross training. One of the benefits of living in Minnesota. Interesting. I bought a pair of rock climbing shoes, or I don't have them yet. I ordered them online from Moose Jaw. Or I bought a climbing harness and rock climbing shoes. And I had no idea how to buy rock climbing shoes. I tried to buy the exact same Butora. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Butora brand rock climbing shoes that they have at the gym for rentals, but I couldn't find like the exact same ones. So I was like, oh, I don't know. The way I bought it was I looked at the comments and people were like, yeah, this is a pretty good beginner's shoe. And I saw that comment like multiple times, people trying to like insult the shoe or critique it. And I'm like, oh, like 5 people called this a great beginner shoe. I'm a beginner. This is the shoe for me. It also came in black. So I bought that one. So we'll see if it's any good or not. I have no idea. But the last time I took the girls rock climbing once for their regular rock climbing class session. And then once we went as a family on Sunday. Yesterday. No, we went Saturday. And that was the first time where I was climbing and I was in over my head a little bit in terms of the difficulty of the wall. And I felt like these shoes are slipping. I need better shoes. these shoes are holding me back. I'm sure they weren't really all that much, but I was like, oh, okay. I think shoes actually matter in this sport now. So I'm looking forward to trying out the new ones. Let me tell you what, rock climbing shoes are the most uncomfortable thing I've ever put on my feet. I hate them. So like I don't know. I'm like excited about getting my own rock climbing shoes, but also I'm like, I don't know. I don't like these things. They're so uncomfortable. Shake Johnson wants to know, are we going to get a 100-mile review for the On Cloud Stratus? I'm working on it. I think I'm at like 60 miles in the shoe now. I was going to take them out today, but with all the snow, I was like, no, let's go. Let's put a trail shoe on. So I'll take them out tomorrow for my 10 miler tomorrow. It'll be real cold tomorrow. So I think it'll still take me about a month before I get to the 100 miles on that one. I kind of had put it on the back burner for a little bit, and I think it's because I still had like the more version 3. I had Triumph 19 that I would always kind of like pick first. So we'll see. But like now that like I think I don't have any max cushion shoes. Well, I still have the Bondi X. So like for those days, I'm using either the On Cloud, the Stratus, or the Bondi X. They're very different shoes, but yeah, we'll get there. I'm trying to get there. All right. Let's see. Dan says broom ball is played with a soccer ball and a hard broom on an ice rink. On ice? Boot hockey is with hockey stick and a soft puck on a rink. Both use broom ball shoes with small suction cups on the bottom. Oh, interesting. And that running guy says, blame your tools. That's totally what I did when I was on the wall. I'm like, I totally would have had this wall if it wasn't for these shoes, these rental shoes. But they did feel a little bit slick on the bottom. I was like, I'm trying to like grab onto the wall and push up, but I'm like, everything I stood on felt slippery. And then my daughter, who is better at climbing than I am, would get further than me, and I would be like, all right, I'm stepping where she's stepping. She's had no problem standing on these things. But like, why am I like slipping off of them? So that was kind of like my thing. I'm like, I think my shoes are slippery. Running and Pizza says, what's the durability like on the Rebel version 2? I've got like 40 miles on mine. I don't have a lot of miles on mine. I know Ben Johnson has put in like, he's had a couple of pairs of them. He's got like 900 miles in Rebel version 2s from 2021 across 2 shoes. So, I mean, he's really been enjoying them. But I also feel like for him, he's got a really pretty foot strike. I'm guessing he doesn't get a lot of wear on any of his shoes. But as far as the foam goes, he's been able to take them to a very far distance. For me, I mean, I'm still pretty new in it, so I can't really say for sure. Linda L wants to know why no glycerin. I ran in the glycerin 19, I think, and I was just really underwhelmed by it. You know, I've been thinking and hearing about how like big and max cushion the glycerin is in the Brooks lineup, and I was like, well, it's from the brand that gave us the Ghost, so like this glycerin's got to be really just extra cushy. And I was just like, I don't think it is. It just seems like a little bit like a little bit thicker of a Ghost with a heel drop that makes a little bit more sense than the Ghost heel drop. And so I just didn't like love it. I did end up customizing my glycerins though. I had Greg Tahara put a Warren Buffett face on mine. And so I still have them. I still really enjoy them for that reason, but I haven't really done a lot of running in them. I think since then they've changed the foam, I think once. And then I think they're going to change it again this year. This year I'll definitely try the glycerin. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I've tried whatever glycerin I tried. It was like 2 or 3 versions ago. But this year they're changing the foam substantially. So now I'm very interested in the glycerin for this year. I might get, even though I think it's going to end up being heavier, there's going to be a knit version of the glycerin that looks really nice. So I think that's probably the one that I'll try. Dan Johnson says, how big is the shoe closet? It's not very big. That's the problem. And so like for me, like once there starts to get a lot of shoes in there, I will just like narrow focus on whichever ones are closest to 100 miles. So that way I can run 100 miles and then make my like long-term review video of it and then get it out of the closet. So it doesn't, there's not a lot of shoes. There's always, at max like 15 or 16 pairs of shoes in there because I just don't have room for more than that. Brendan says, I'm also trying to put some more miles into the Cloud Stratus. Gotta say, I'm itching for a new pair of shoes. There hasn't been any new releases in Canada for a while now. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the lull, right? So like for shoe releases, usually there's some stuff in like November, December. Adidas usually releases some new stuff right around then. This year they released like the Takumi-sen. Last year they introduced like the next SL20. So like, they usually have one or two things. And then so far it's been quiet. I mean, in the US we've gotten the Nimbus 24 and I think the Nimbus Light 3. Some colors are out. I'm not sure. I think the Nimbus Light 3 we're still waiting a little bit for that to release, but I'm not sure how much different the Canada release schedule is going to be. But other than that, it's been pretty quiet. But I mean, I like it because then it's like, okay, finally I can get through some of these shoes that have been like in the closet a little bit too long. So yeah, I think now it's like you'll see people like, here's a long-term review on this shoe that I've just kind of had for a little while, and I guess I'll make a video now. I think that's what it was with when I saw Emily Heller posted a video this recently about the Rincon 3. I was like, yeah, she's waiting for some new shoes, but she doesn't have any new shoes that she wants to make videos about right now. So she made this video about the Rincon 3. That's what I'm thinking. I also have not done a long-term review video on the Rincon 3. I think I'm about 55 miles in the Rincon 3, so I got a little bit more to go to. But I know what you're saying, Brendan. Devin Patterson says, do you know any of the release dates of the craft shoes this year? I don't remember their name, but there was a trail shoe that looked nice. Yeah, I don't know any of the dates. I didn't talk to anyone from Craft while I was there, so like I was able to look at the shoes and stuff. But I didn't get like any sort of rundown from anybody. I really should have tried to like plan TRE a little bit better. I was intentionally being a little bit antisocial. I was just like, this is overwhelming. It felt very very stressful to like try and like, I didn't want to like overschedule myself. I just didn't know like what my day was really going to be looking like. So I was like, well, whoever reaches out to me, I'll coordinate, but I'm not going to like go out. I was like, my approach was I wasn't going to go out of my way. Not because I'm like, I'm only going to talk to the people that talk to me first, but I was like, that'll be like a nice kind of like self-regulating way of not over scheduling myself. But now I'm like, I wish I had talked to them and learned more about some of those shoes because I do want to. I'm very excited for Craft this year. Will Willing says, I like the New Balance Beacon 3, but is there a shoe similar but with more bounce or energy return? I'd probably steer you towards the New Balance Rebel version 2. So that's probably the one that I would look at. A lot of people are like, if the New Balance Rebel 2 exists, why does the Beacon 3 still exist? So like, they're not identical, but their use cases are very similar. So like if you want something that's similar to that, but not that, Rebel 2. Mark Ingham says, way off topic. Do you have anything to say about football this weekend? I really don't. I didn't watch any football. I kind of stopped watching football. I don't know how I did in my fantasy. My family does a fantasy football team, so a football league. I was winning for like the first time ever. I mean, I usually am in like the top 2 or 3 for like the first half of the season, and then like I lose interest, and then I mean I don't really know that much about football. And then I basically all the bye weeks start hitting, and then I start losing, and then I never make it. I've never won in like the last 10 or 11 years. I don't know. I may have accidentally won this year. I think all my family members are like, hey, you're having a great year in fantasy football. I'm like, I am. I haven't logged in weeks. They're like, is that the secret? I'm like, pretty much. I was always getting in my own way, apparently. So from the news reports that I saw, it was a good weekend for football. And people want some rule changes, I guess, but I didn't watch any football this week. Michael Chang says, which race day shoe would you recommend me to buy right now? I would say, not knowing what you already have or kind of like what you like or what race this is we're talking about, I'd probably say look to see if you can get some of the Endorphin Pros on sale. They're ridiculously cheap. So the Endorphin Pro and Endorphin Speed, like the version ones, they were still selling for really, really cheap. So that'd be one to pick up. Yeah, I mean, right now, if you're looking at like race shoes, I guess some people like I've got Tokyo coming up technically. We'll see if that still goes or if they still allow foreign runners or if ASICS will still bring the North American group. And then I think there's a LA marathon that people are getting ready for. And then there's Boston, right? So like, but like there aren't a ton of marathons going on right now. I think the Donna marathon's going on in February. But like I would recommend for people because new super shoes are coming out. Probably, I mean, I don't think there's going to be any coming out before Boston, but I think in like June is when all the new ones will come out. So to like hold you over, I would say, look for some deals, try something that you haven't tried before. So like the Endorphin Pro, if you haven't tried it, try the RC Elite 2. Those are two shoes that I think are, the Endorphin Pro, I think it's growing on me more and more. And the RC Elite 2, I'm a big fan of. So you might be able to get those on some deals. And then the Adios Pro 2 is another shoe that I just really, really like. So, yeah. Shake Johnson says, "Cole, you crazy because I'm in a league, but I never log in." Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It just seems like the more I try to do well, the worse it goes. And so, like, the longer I go without looking at it, the better my team seems to perform. So, you know, yeah. Steven Guarina says, off topic, but maybe an idea for another day here. But what if we saw more challenges like the Disney Dopey Challenge, where you get elite runners competing on a point system from 1 mile to a marathon? I love that kind of thing. Like I'm not sure what's the exact right way to do it, but like I think that there needs to be something between. I mean, I think like having some sort of series or cup or championship would be helpful. I mean, the closest is Diamond League, but I think Diamond League's even thinking about, did they cut or are they thinking about cutting the 10K? So they're trying to figure out ways to make the sport more presentable as a spectator sport. And I think like having a series is a way to do it. I would like to also see some sort of like team or maybe like by a shoe brand, like team scoring as well. So I think that's kind of stuff's important. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah, Martha says, yeah, none of the most exciting new super shoe iterations are coming up before Boston. You're right, midsummer. And I just really don't understand why, like, I mean, why doesn't Adidas have their shoe like the next, like why isn't the Adios Pro 3 come out the week of Boston? It doesn't come out the week of Berlin, I mean, those would be like the two obvious choices. So like why not have it come out the week of Boston? I mean, I guess people want to have it to train for Berlin, right? So it comes out like June. But like I just think that there's a real big missed opportunity. Like the Boston didn't come out. I mean, the Boston didn't and doesn't come out like in time for Boston. Right? So at least give us that. Like the Boston 11 should come out like next week, 12 weeks before the Boston Marathon, in my opinion. And I think it's just like it's just very silly the fact that it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. But the fact that it's like a world major marathon and there's like no shoe hype for it, I don't know. Seems like a very big missed opportunity. Dan Johnson says, all the shoe talk has me thinking I should put more thought into my purchases. I generally look for two main characteristics. One, they fit me well, and two, they're on clearance. Many Africans run in sandals, winky face. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with shopping that way. But I think that like it helps if you kind of I think it requires you to have a wider knowledge. So like you're saying, do put more thought into it. But I don't think that you necessarily have to change your first two criteria. But I think that you can also say like 3, does this shoes suit my purposes? You know what I mean? So like maybe you have like 3 shoes that are like really good deals overall and they all fit you well. So clearance, fit well, and like 2 of them are max cushion shoes and one's a racer. And you need a racer? Well, that's how you could pick it. You know what I mean? So like I think that it just requires people to be a little bit more knowledgeable. Otherwise then like yeah, you're getting a shoe that was cheap, but if you have like 6 of that kind of shoe and you don't go through 6 shoes a year, it's not really saving you any money, you know? That's I mean kind of one way to look at it, I guess. Yeah, Luis Becerra says Boston 11, but like the 9s, please. You know, I think that I don't know. I'm gonna put it to the test this week, but my thoughts on the Boston 10 are constantly evolving. I'm trying to figure out that shoe, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone else seems to think it is. I think I probably like it the most of all the people that I know. But I think I'm gonna have a video of that maybe later this week or early next week. We'll see. But yeah, I think it should be more like the 9. But then again, like the Audio 6 is very much like the 9. So I don't know. Mark wants to know if the streak flies on the radar. You know, I don't race a lot of 5K, 10Ks. Same reason why I'm very interested in the Takumi-sen, but I'm like, do I need the Takumi-sen? Like, what does the Takumi-sen get me that the Audio 6 can't get me? Given that, like, if I race a 5K, I'm probably going to do it in my carbon-plated super shoes. You know, but I mean, maybe it's one of those things where I need to test them out and see how they do. So maybe I should get both. You know, so yeah. So Frank says that Ed Bud warmed up to the Boston 10. I don't think he did. He's talking about, I just watched his video on it. He's talking about he needs to cut out the heel plate in the back. I feel like anytime, like, here's how I know, like, a shoe, like, Ed doesn't like a shoe. He's like, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm not going to do his accent because I can't do accents. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to take my scissors and modify it. It's like a tool time thing. You guys remember that? Home Improvement to show? Like, I modified it. I feel like that's what he does with all the shoes that he doesn't like. He did it with like the Boston. No, he did it with the Ultra Boost. He's done it with like the Zoom Flies, right? I think he's doing it. I think he's going to cut. I really think he's just going to operate on his Boston 10s and just take the heel part out. He's very funny. I look forward to seeing how he likes it and what it looks like when he's done. But yeah, we'll see. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what Adidas was thinking on it. So yeah. All right. I think I'm going to get going with that on that one, guys. Tomorrow's video, I'm not sure what tomorrow's video is going to be. It might be the run motivation video for the week. But you know, I'll figure it out soon. And then tomorrow, we're going to play another game. I'm going to figure out some game for us to play tomorrow. I see a question here from Michael Chang about Milrose predictions. So maybe we'll make it something Milrose themed. Pretty excited about that meet coming up. Or might it be just something completely different? But we'll have another live stream tomorrow, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time, right here on the Kahuzi Run Club live stream channel. Hopefully I'll see you guys again. And in the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.